Marvel's Spider-Man. Well, I'll be damned. Many people have been waiting for this game, and myself included, and my god, it was worth the wait. But before I talk about anything else, when I first started Spider-Man, this happened. I am not kidding, this happened to me 4 times the whole time I played this game. Did it ruin the experience? Hell no. I'd be an asshole if I said I did, but I wanted to point that out there. When I first started out the game, that happened. I wasn't really happy, but the game was just too fun, so I ignored it, even though it happened to me 4 times. Alright, time for my experience. I'm not going to be talking about the story because spoilers are left and right on YouTube, and can I call myself lucky that I didn't get spoiled for this game? I wasn't watching any content of this game, like almost nothing. I've only watched a few live streams from a couple of people that I'm subscribed to, but that's about it. Anything else, I completely ignored, and I know I may sound like an asshole because you were watching this video, but thank you for, again, sticking around for this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to start off by saying that this game looks gorgeous, and it also feels like you're watching a Spider-Man movie, especially how it starts off. Spider-Man jumping out of the window and suddenly you're web-slinging. Just, it's incredible what this game is, and I am very, very happy this game exists. I'm gonna say this right now. This is the best web-swinging in the Spider-Man game to date. Yes, even Spider-Man 2. Personally, I prefer Spider-Man 3's web-swinging, but most people like Spider-Man 2 for whatever reason. I mean, I like the game, but I never finished it, so I can't really relate to people like that. So, I'm sorry. When I first got into the combat, it took me a little bit to get used to the controls. I'm all here thinking I'm playing Spider-Man 3's controls, my dumbass. And I was trying to figure out how to run, and it turns out it was the R2 button, which is the same as web swinging, but I found that odd at first. Over time, I got used to it, and I understand why the controls are like this, so in the end, it's all good. The combat. The combat, oh my god.
So good.
You're damn right here, it feels so good. And it's so satisfying kicking someone in the face, because not only you did that, but it's enjoyable to see. I was worried that there was going to be a lot of QuickTime events, but there's not too many, and there's not too much. It's just perfect. The amount of QuickTime events they added in this game, it's perfect. Because me personally, I don't really like a lot of QuickTime events, and when QuickTime events are perfect, the game is just, to me, it's so much better. It adds a lot of more depth. And before I continue, there are a few things that I refuse to cover in this video because I don't want to take that experience away from you, and if I did, I would just be an ass. And most of the time, I totally forgot about the story. I was enjoying myself going on night patrol, stopping crimes, talking to civilians, and even collecting backpacks. Backpacks! Which, by the way, I actually managed to get all the backpacks in the city, which in return gives you the homemade suit. Now, collecting all the backpacks sounds like a lot of work. Well, actually, no. There's only 55 in total, but at first you have no idea where they are. Very early in the game, you'll have to turn on this tower for the police, so they, and you, can scan what's nearby, like crimes, side missions, and of course the backpacks. These towers are all over the city, and by doing so, you'll know what's nearby. There's a few that I missed, but again, I want to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. So yeah. And can I say the level of bullshit is actually really small? To me, that is very, very rare to do. I don't recall any time that the game gave me a game over because of poor design. If I died, it was my fault and not the game's. The developers really knew what they were doing and covering all bases, and that's what I like about this game. It not only looks and feels good, but if you make a mistake, you made a mistake. And you know, that's something I can totally get down with because I hate it when I die because of poor design. But Spider-Man PS4 is something remarkable. I'm loving that this game is getting 9s and 10s because the game really, really does deserve it. Okay, let me go back to what I really liked, and you don't really have to focus on the story. For example, taking pictures for landmarks. That is also fun to do. I didn't think taking pictures would be so much fun as playing Spider-Man. Speaking of going around the city, just web swinging alone, it's breathtaking. During times, Peter will actually be on the phone with someone like Aunt May, and when he's web swinging, he sounds like he's out of breath. But when he's standing still, he sounds totally normal. That is attention to detail that is awesome. There are stealth missions in this game, and they're really, really good. I'm not good at these myself, but man, when I do pull it off, it feels awesome. During the beginning of the game, I wasn't actually using gadgets because, well, I totally forgot they were there. I think the web bomb has to be my favorite because it's like an explosive web and it has a large radius and thus giving more time to punch the baddies. However, from my experience anyway, I hated fighting in the dark. I couldn't see shit and I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. This shouldn't happen to you because, well, my monitor didn't have the right colors and thus making darkers more darker and lights lighter. Again, it shouldn't happen to anyone else besides me. That was just more of a me problem. Again, just doing the side stuff really is fun, and Insomniac Games really wanted the players to give the ultimate Spider-Man experience. And I'd say they delivered on that. And this isn't really spoiling the story or anything, but I just love how MJ is so involved in this game, as much as Peter is.
Sorry to cook and run.
Did you just leave your clothes on the kitchen floor?
Early in the game, you had to do these puzzles, and I'm not gonna say who, because if I did, I'd be spoiling shit, and I really don't want to do that. But anyways, I have a question, and this is, I'm being serious on this one, by the way. Why does the music when doing these puzzles sound like it came from the Jimmy Neutron game on the PC? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I liked these puzzles at first, but after a while, I got bored of them. So I skipped about, I would say half, because I just couldn't be bothered. Yeah, I know I can get a lot more XP from doing these, but hey, at least I enjoyed some of it, I guess. That's something, but overall, I think this was more of a gimmick than anything. I was doing a base mission, and an enemy kinda glitched through the wall, of all places. And I was lucky that he had a shield because the shield was actually clipping through the building, which allowed me to finish the mission. Just take a look.
Give me rent.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
I also managed to get every skill, and boy, it makes combat a whole lot easier. When you first start at the game, you're rather limited on what you can do, but over time, fighting not only gets better, it also gets more enjoyable. It also gives you a lot more choices on how you want to approach the fight. Should I sneak up behind them and pick them off one by one? Or do I duke it out and fighting everyone in my path? In the end, the choice is yours, and it kind of makes the fights different each time. I don't think we've had that in the Spider-Man game before, and to me that's remarkable. Again, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below, but again, don't be that ass in the comments. Sometimes when you're web slinging, J. Jonah Jameson will actually talk through his talk show and giving out reports on things like the story, for example. His comments are actually pretty funny, and sometimes he gets colors in, and sometimes those colors are actually really questionable.
Yeah, well, I get your point, but my girlfriend got this sexy Spider-Girl costume. And it really spices things up, know what I'm saying?
Oh boy, yeah.
Huh. I most certainly do. J. Jonah Jameson is not one to be judgmental. But you, sir, are an extremely disturbed man. Goodbye.
What's wrong with you?
Jared, go to commercial, then fire yourself, then rehire yourself before the commercial ends. But no, your job ends by a thread. If I paid you, I'd cut your salary in half.
Damn!
And that's pretty much my experience of Spider-Man PS4. I mean, I would talk about some moments in the story, but again, I'm seeing spoilers left and right on YouTube, and I didn't want you guys to get spoiled on my end, because I wouldn't like to get spoiled. If you guys want to see another video or another my experience just for the story alone, let me know in the comments below, because I would be more than happy to do so. I would say this right now. The story, so good. I made that joke twice already. I'm not doing that again. I'm not trying to show off or anything, but for my experience years anyway, I think this is the most hard-working video I've ever produced, and I'm actually really proud of that. But anyway, I really love this game, and I really wanted to share my experience with you without spoiling things, of course. Well, I think that wraps up for this my experience episode. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, and I'm gonna play some more Spider-Man. See ya.